Yes.
Yeah.
Pay to not rust. All right, let's get rid of those two. And here's our Schlieffen build. All right, so, guys, we are back. We are looking at Puddin's Schlieffen, the Tier 10 German battle cruiser line. The line itself is one of the most fun lines in this game. They've got great secondaries. They've got nice long-range torpedoes, which people often forget because they've been so used and trained to the 6-kilometer range of your standard German ships, both battleships and cruisers at that matter. They do come at a price, and that is one, they have a limited charge of damage control party consumables, and two, their armor scheme is nowhere near as strong as the standard German battleship. So you can easily focus down a Schlieffen and take it down. We've seen that so much. Both Puddin and I have seen that a lot in King of the Sea. But she's one of those kind of like the tip of the spear kind of ships. You play an aggressive role when you charge and you commit to going in. The enemy then has to react to you. The only thing about the Schlieffen is you can't uncommit the Schlieffen once you have committed it. So you have to keep that in mind when you're going with it. Have I missed anything? Oh, she also gets hydro.
Low, but not the good German hydro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gets 5.5. So it's not like it's horrible, but yeah, it's not the 6 kilometer.
It's the Diet Coke of German.
When the line first released, it was actually the 6-kilometer, but then Ouija was like, nah, that's too overpowered. So we're going to nerf it by half a kilometer.
That actually makes a huge difference, though, that half kilometer.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so it was actually a successful nerf on the side of Wargaming. Good job, Balance Department. You get a W there. Okay.
Because there's a lot of destroyers that have like between 5.5 and 6 kilometer concealment that would have been otherwise stealthy and could have caught by a 6 kilometer hydro, and now they can't.
Yep. So let's take a look at Puddin's build then. Puddin is going main armaments mod 1, damage control mod 1, secondary battery mod 1, damage control 2, concealment, and also auxiliary armaments. By the way, Colonel the Truth, thank you for your sub earlier. I saw that and I forgot to say something. And hello, Niftiness. Puddin, why are you using main armaments mod 1 instead of secondaries, instead of aux mod?
It protects the torpedo tubes a little bit better, which still they get knocked out. So I can just imagine what it would be without it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's
fair.
That's pretty much the only reason to use it, and I quite frankly, I will probably too. Like,
I've been in the habit of using using main armaments for anything that has torpedoes armed in it, German battleship wise. So like Tirpitz even, Scharnhorst, Gneisenau, etc., etc. It makes perfect sense to keep those torpedoes alive. Schlieffen, as you mentioned, torpedoes die very quickly anyways. So this is one of the few cases where you might be better off with auxiliary armaments. It really depends on how you play the ship and how often you find, your torpedoes blowing up and your secondaries blowing up. I think what you need to do really is take the time to look at the end, at the backside. Oh my God, Tarot is You're distracting me from my replays. Thank you, though. But anyways, you look at the detailed information at the end, and we'll look at it at the end of this battle. How have your secondaries fared, and then how have your torpedoes fared? Like, those are questions. Those are important questions to look at. Niftiness commented on the aux mod for the 6th slot. The Schlieffen line is one of those rare cases where running auxiliary makes perfect sense because you get so much mileage out of your secondaries. So that can absolutely work.
Well, like I know on my car first, I don't run the auxiliary mod, but with the Schlieffen, like you say, most of the time, half of your damage is just coming from the dual Nurembergs.
Exactly. Just about every other ship line in this game, you are better off going main batteries. But this is one of the few cases where I can totally see running auxiliary. And go ahead, Puddin.
Oh, it wasn't me.
Oh.
No, that was me. Regarding the you said compare the damage with the torpedoes and secondaries. I think choosing the Aux mod in the first slot, I think what you actually need to look at is your detailed stats in game. Probably you want to use a mod that tells you how many of your secondaries got destroyed or not.
Yeah, but you can see that at the end of the game too.
Damage, you should look at how often do they get destroyed, and the game doesn't tell you in the post-battle stats.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it tells you when if one got destroyed, but it doesn't tell you when. So.
Well, that's fair, and that's what I was saying was to look at if they're alive or not. I wasn't talking about how much damage are they doing. So maybe you misheard me there. But the other thing I want to mention, though, before we continue, is if you're going to invest into secondaries here, then it also makes sense to maybe consider investing more heavily here, because you want these to synergize, right? You want them to stay alive longer. So again, we'll look at it the post battle. We'll see what happens. Maybe as we play through, we've got the mod and we could take a look at it too. All right, let's move on to our captain. I'm presuming this is Lutyens.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
No, it's not Lutyens. It's
okay.
I don't think it's a standard captain. It's one of the Warhammer guys. There's no bonuses.
Okay. And hopefully there's no music playing that.
Extreme sense for it. Mm-hmm. Not just because of the buff to the secondaries when you get the, 140 hits or something? I don't remember. But just for the buff preventive maintenance skill.
Yep. So Lutyens gives you a couple of procs that come in handy, right? One is your secondary battery loader, and maybe fire enough your main battery too, possibility, but you do get a buff to preventative maintenance. So 30% is the standard, 45% is the buffed version, reducing modules becoming incapacitated. That includes your torpedoes. And on top of that, you get extra anti-air survivability and secondary survivability, which again jives very nicely with this setup. So Lutyens is a great choice if you don't use him in another place. The problem with Lutyens is he's so good, you wish you had like 3 or 4 of them. Mine is on the Z52, but I could easily see putting him on this ship. You could easily put him on the Preußen. You could easily put him on the Hindenburg. There are people that put him on the carriers.
I put mine on the my Schlieffen.
Yeah.
Mine's on the Z52, so naturally he goes to the Kurfürst, which I play way more often than the Schlieffen.
So
right.
I'm in that weird spot in that I don't have Lucian. I just have
Why don't you?
2 21-point captains that I've trained up because I'm saving my coal for Napoli right now.
Bad
You're
idea.
gonna get way more mileage getting the captains first
Look,
than a ship.
go search my YouTube page for Zathchat Commander. Something like why go commanders over ships or something like that. We did a whole talk about how that coal is a far better investment on these special captains because you can put them on every premium ship and one tech tree ship. So it's like you are boosting like everything you already have versus, oh, I just get one more ship. So definitely commanders first for coal. Anyway, your build, standard captain, preventative maintenance. And then you go down this second line here, second for secondary, IFHE, set long-range secondaries, manual secondaries, makes perfect sense. Basic survivability, concealment, and fire prevention. Why basics of survivability instead of adrenaline rush?
I hate burning.
Okay.
Yeah, but you already have the DCP mod and the signal flag.
Right. I also have limited DCPs.
But look, right now you're burning for 34.7 seconds.
Yeah, that's down over here.
If you take this off, you go to like what, 40
40.8. Mm-hmm.
So like you save 6 seconds of burn time, which is how much damage? Put it back on. You can see it 9.3.
Right, but what you're forgetting is that 6 seconds I'm longer spotted while trying to run away and go dark.
If you are playing around your concealment, yes.
You may think 6 seconds is not that long. Let's just face facts. That's at least one more salvo from everybody shooting you. like an accurate target locked salvo.
You're running away in the Schlieffen. You're doing it wrong.
No, you're not. It's called kiting, Grunty.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how he.
There are times you do need to go dark, believe it or not, in a brawling ship to heal up
yes,
and
I agree.
re-engage.
Triple dipping into that fire reduction is fine on some battleships,
I
but
can't
not
stress
if
this
it comes
enough.
at the cost of adrenaline rush.
I hate burning.
I am going to second.
I mean, you
I'm
can
not
see that he's got.
disagreeing.
Not fun.
I'm not disagreeing that AR is probably going to be a better choice, but we're talking about a guy who ran fighters from the OG Midway 4 years after it got nerfed still.
So, this is another opportunity to mention too that really a lot of this comes down to the player and how they use it. One food for thought: if Puddin absolutely wants to keep basics, one thing he could do is drop manual as secondaries. Okay, and then pick up adrenaline rush that way. One thing he could do. I don't know if it's gonna be better or not. Just suggesting. It's a possibility.
I mean, that would be the alternative.
And then you
Right,
take
'cause then
demolition
you could-
expert.
Yeah. And just let the secondaries accuracy through volume.
Well, and and Grunty, we talked about this a lot before. Manual secondaries, the secondaries always aim for center mass of the ship. So if your target is a battleship, they're aiming for the armored belt, which means even though you've got AFHE, you're probably not getting pens unless it's, you know, the 32 millimeter all around battleships. So at that point, this actually might mean you get more hits on target that actually matter and penetrate.
I don't think it's true for the German battleships that much. They are not as accurate as the American ones. I probably wouldn't drop manual secondary on a Schlieffen.
Okay. I'm just bringing this up as a possibility to have both of these skills, right? If he wants both of them, he's got to make a concession someplace else. He's not going to get rid of concealment. He's not going to get rid of fire prevention.
What's the reason for
My
running?
concession would actually be the concealment if you really hate the burning.
Yeah, but concealment is so important. I mean,
Hang on.
you got to not be detected.
What's the reason for the preventative main?
Secondaries.
Yeah,
Secondaries.
and
Secondaries,
torpedoes.
torp tubes, and main battery. Like, I went through a stint where all my battleships were just getting the main guns knocked out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Which is
that
why-
happened with me like ages ago, constantly with Yami when I was grinding for her ledge mod.
Which is why I will probably 100% always take the module to keep my main batteries, because at the end of the day, they're your bread and butter. Like, even for the Schlieffen, it's your bread and butter. Right, but you are getting so much more value out of your secondaries here. It's worth protecting them to a degree.
Right. All right, let's continue on then and look at your signal flags: anti-det, ramming, anti-burn, anti-flood, heal boosting, speed boosting, secondary boosting, and consumables. I mean, that's Schlieffen in a nutshell. There's nothing else you'd want to do differently. Okay. Let's go into the game then. Speed it up just a little bit to get it going. All right,
Okay,
so
but once again, Patton, the problem with fires is it increases your detectability. So if I'm burning for less, I can go stealthier. And usually when I'm burning, one of two things is happening. I'm pushing into them, so it doesn't matter. Or two, I'm trying to kite the guy and I need to go dark and heal up to re-engage the kite.
all right, well, let's take a look at the lineups here. So you are going for the flank. And you've got Yamato, Montana, Kurfürst, Yodo, Moskva, Petro, Brindisi, Yamagiri, Gearing, 46, Chungmu, and a sub. on the enemy team. Yamagiri, so it's technically you are middle tier, but it's only one. Still, a Yamagiri I think would be a big threat for you, right? Gearing is a threat. Z46 and Chungmu are threats. Chungmu the bigger one because of the deep water torpedoes. And look, it's your favorite, U-4501.
I hate those guys.
Your food is, well, and Yamato could also be a threat for you, you could say, and then Montana Curvers do you show broadside. Yodo, even Moskva and Petro could be if you show broadside. Yodo is your food, Brindisi is your food. So the point I'm trying to get at is there's not a lot in this game that you are probably looking to beat up on.
Ron, the only reason I played this ship, and this was like my one and only Schlieffen game for the day, was to get a decent replay for Zelda so I could walk her through on how I personally play my Schlieffen to help her out. And then this occurred.
Okay. And Zelda, by the way, for those of you guys that don't know, just made it into the CC program. That's pretty awesome. A little high on the Brindisi because he's already looking into you.
I was thinking he was going to turn out.
Yeah, and then he turned in.
Yeah.
with smoke going and everything.
I'm like, great, he's turning in. Like.
So, all right, you're going to play off on the flank. And the reason you play on the flank, of course, is it controls where incoming fire can be coming from. It allows you to angle your armor towards all of that. It's much less you have to worry and think about.
I really hated this girl first. Like,
so,
the car first just literally speed juked me by stopping.
Game said, nah, you're not gonna do anything to him.
Now the Brindisi came back out. You thought about turning to get a shot on him, but then you didn't. I'm guessing because you were worried about the curve first and showing too much side to him?
Yeah, I mean, like, most German ships, I won't be afraid beyond 15 kilometers because, you know, their long-range accuracy is just hot trash, but he's just got to get lucky one time, and there goes all my HP.
I don't know if you noticed or not, but your Yamagiri opened up with his main battery.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so two things that go along with that.
Process, a Brindisi, a Moskva, and a Petro, and a sub.
Yeah, so why not open up? But the reason I bring that up is obviously they're going to be shooting him. Gives you the flexibility of maybe being a little bit more loose with your angling and stuff for the duration of that Yamagiri's life.
Well, I mean, luckily for him, everybody, like, we're all kiting away.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand here. Why are you kiting away the full speed? Like, you're not even trying to get in your secondary range here.
No, there's no reason to.
No, you forget, Grunty. There's a 4051 over here. I'm not spotted, which means he's probably underwater, trying to get to me as quickly as humanly possible, or to our Riga. Right? I'm praying to God it's the Riga. Right? More than me. Like, I make my turn back in because I don't want to border hump.
Sure.
Right? I do want to get in a little bit closer because I'm suspecting that Petro is going to do what Petro does and just sit at that island protecting his one side. Oh, look, that's what he's doing.
Right. Right. Now, I see a lot of Schlieffens would look at that island, by the way, as a good opening position. You didn't take that, I'm guessing because of all the subs and torpedoes in the game, you didn't want to risk it, right? You get stuck.
Right. That island's a death trap. At the start of the game, it's a pure death trap. I go to that island, look at everything I'm broadside to, and I can only protect myself against what? A Petro? Like, no, I much rather be a little bit more open water. If I needed to slow down and kite them, I would just do it in reverse.
Why aren't you shooting the Brindisi here?
I want to get rid of the radar, right? Most of my thought process is, why do your destroyers never move up? Well, there's radar. So if you get rid of the radar, what's their excuse? Right? Like, I understand the Brindisi is a threat to them, but they're going to use the radar excuse.
You're not gonna kill a Brindisi from that angle at that distance in a Schlieffen.
Right, but chip damage is still a thing.
And besides, the Brindisi has already demonstrated that he doesn't really care for his armor that much. So if you look, he's already kind of turning out here.
If I'm the destroyer here, the reason I'm not pushing in is because my secondary battleship is back at the B line being useless. Like, quite honest.
I'm with Puddin. If I'm playing that Yamagiri there, I am absolutely looking at the Petropavlovsk and being at least 13 kilometers away from him. Why would you play close to that raid?
13 kilometers. Like, the Yamagiri has a better chance of killing that Petro than...
Okay, fine, but look, there's a Moskva pushing up on the one line too. Almost in the same position.
You sit there and go, well, he's back at the B line being useless. That's because I got pushed back. I wasn't...
No, you choose to get pushed back.
No, he got pushed back.
So
He got pushed back.
I'm gonna sit there and just let the 4051 do whatever he wants to me because, oh, my DDs need my support.
Like, I'm gonna
not
pause.
trusting random players.
I'm pausing it right in, and hilariously enough, I paused it right at the moment the 4501 got detected. But let's imagine he doesn't exist right now, Grunty. Where would you want him to be in this situation?
I want him to be in the kiting position within his secondary range.
Okay, tell me a grid square.
Let me... 11 kilometers is here.
I swear, if you say D, you're... If you say D...
Shh, just let him answer, please. Let him answer.
I will say D. I will say probably in this moment you want to... Like, honestly, you would want to be right next to the sub.
Okay, so you just got him killed.
See, the thing is, if he is in that position, the sub is probably not there.
Why?
You'd be absolutely suicidal if you tried to push a Schlieffen in a U-4501.
Okay, so Schlieffen, if he's there, who's going to be shooting at him? Brindisi, probably the gearing torpedoing, Petro, Moskva, Kurfürst.
Probably gonna shoot him. But if he's in secondary range kind the whole time, like we're like 7 minutes in line. That's like at least 4 to 5 minutes of secondary shooting. There are not 4 ships alive anymore.
Right.
These ships probably kited back themselves because they don't want to get shotted by secondaries from the Schlieffen.
So what you're saying is these guys are smart enough to stay out of my secondaries, yet intelligent enough to shoot me, which means my secondaries never get involved, and now I'm caught bowing or butting and still have to run away.
And he's going to be forced to DCP fires, all that good stuff. You've got the sub that will probably start pinging him. That forces out DCP, hydro, torpedo dodging, etc., etc. The point I'm trying to get at is you're getting him killed, putting him there. He's going to be overwhelmed and taken out by 4 ships, maybe 5. If you look at the minimap, again, assuming the sub's not there, add the sub on top of that, and holy hell, you just got shotgunned. But he's got...
The 4501 can't shotgun. He has 4 torpedoes at the front that deal like 7,000 damage.
Right. Plus everybody shooting me, plus still the destroyer somewhere. I'm the only battleship over here. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, ironically, every time you look, every time I'm pushing in, my Riga's pushing in, the DD's turning back in, and so it's the enemy. So it's like we're all both sides are doing this big push, turn, kite.
Yes. Now, look at the Moskva, look at the Gaotenlu. They're both coming out from B. They've secured B. They're coming to support. If Puddin continues to kite away, draws them forward into the firing arcs of the Gaotenlu of the Moskva. Gaotenlu at this point could probably Dutch oven the Petro anyway. So the point I'm trying to make is by Puddin backing off, he's actually giving his teammates time to finish whatever they're doing over there and come support him. Hell, look at his Fletcher. What's the Fletcher doing down there? Like... Hello?
I mean, here's another important thing. We have 2 caps to their 1. You don't need 3 to win. You need 2. And obviously get a bunch of kills. So we don't need to rush into A for zero reason. Like for a
I'm not
minimal
saying you
game.
need to rush into A. I just want your secondaries be involved in this game.
Okay,
Wow.
that's what gets Schlieffen's killed 2 minutes into the game.
Yes.
I don't want to die
I
in
can
the
attest to
first.
that.
The last game,
minutes.
Pocketin's
Get
game.
yourself 2 minutes killed into the game in any ship, Pog. Sorry, Rob.
Oh, he doesn't. Not anymore. He's gotten better. But anyway, but in Pocketington's game, the same thing happened. You had a Schlieffen that was playing out open water, trying to get him within secondary range, and what happened? He got farmed out and dead. And when he died, that's when the enemy really started pushing through C. Didn't matter that Pock was there and his Michelangelo and all that. So I completely agree with Puddin and his positioning. And you'll note that he didn't just run away at full speed. He actually turned back in here. And we're going to continue the replay now because I think this is a pivotal moment. We're about to see this 4501 possibly go down.
But this is pivotal moment number 1.
You got IRL stuff to do? No problem, Cthulhu. Thanks for lurking, man.
But I mean, the other thing is, I'm still over here. I'm still a threat. They still have to respect me. Like, they can't just push up this flank nilly-willy.
I like how you kept your other stuff ready to go and ripped the Fletcher. Oof.
I don't know what the Fletcher was thinking. I don't even know if he was thinking.
I mean, he's in the backfield banging away with his guns. Open water, so.
I mean, you have a Moskvas and a Petro that can both still raid. It's like, why? This is pure luck. This is like, maybe he'll be there.
Well, you're looking at his last known and making a guess, and you guessed correctly. You chose wisely.
Exactly.
Now he's pinging you.
Awaiting instructions.
Oil slick. Why'd you DCP that ping there?
Because I was in the middle of being broadside to him.
So?
I didn't feel like doing a torpedo dodge game.
Okay.
Torpedoes astern.
The only reason I bring that up is it puts you susceptible to HE fire spam.
Torpedoes
But
astern.
fair enough.
I mean, I still wanted to get shot on a Petro with all my guns to potentially kill him, so I'm like, I need to be
Torpedoes to starboard.
sure these torpedoes aren't going to be tracking me broadside.
Houghton is trying to Dutch oven the Petro and failing, but he's giving a shot. The Moss was turned back.
I think that's more of a
All stations.
how the Dutch ovens are falling.
Target.
Yeah, because he's almost flat, 90-degree angle to him.
Awaiting instructions.
They shadow us on the deck of the Petro. At least partially.
Proceed to capture that area.
Okay, Petro goes down and actually trades with... Houghton came out broadside to him? Really? Wow. Okay.
I mean, like, the only thing I'm thinking is think I have 2 caps.
Yeah, you're down 2 ships now.
Which is ironically is what's keeping us in this game. I mean, this is the moment I noticed if you looked at the minimap, everybody's starting to go over to the BC side and help those guys out.
46 detected. In theory, Montana and Rhode Island should be able to handle that.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory. Not many ships on that side that will likely HE spam anyway. Petro Moscow, low rates of fire. Brindisi, no HE. Kerfur's low rate of fire. Yes. Oh, hey.
Moskva's not low rate. Moskva's a DPM.
Yeah.
I would
That's
agree
what
with
I
that.
agree with.
Yeah. Petro
Once
was-
again, I
but Moscow.
just
Moss was low. Moss was low on the side. There you go.
4051, my hatred.
Awaiting instructions. Enemy submarine.
Well, you got him down.
Nice work.
Look, more game rewards in
Still
chat.
happen.
Enemy cruiser.
Wow.
Thank you.
I was not. I was hoping for a Citadel, not
course.
expecting it.
Of course. That was like, wow.
I have no idea how that even settled out.
I mean, he must have been turning in at that exact moment.
This car first just annoyed me that I wasn't getting big hits on him while he was showing so much side.
Mm-hmm.
He actually isn't. If you look at the mini
Right.
and the angles,
he-
that's like almost
he did
45 degrees.
Yeah, so he knows how to turn to dodge incoming fire. How dare he dodge?
That's what I'm saying. I almost reported this guy for that.
And he's waiting for you to turn. Gearing is in B.
I have no idea what this Gearing was thinking at all from his decision making from this point on.
Okay.
But, like, that's what I'm afraid of way more than a curve first.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm going to try to deal with him. Because I'm thinking he's going to come out with the Chungmu and they're just going to cross-torp this poor Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
I see the Yami low and I'm like, okay, that guy needs to die.
Mm-hmm.
I
He's
see a
burning
smoke
right now.
cloud- Smoke cloud shooting, and I'm thinking that's the Brandisi.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, going into B is really a stupid idea. But I will just send one set of torps. You know, I've got them. They're just sitting around. I've got a couple billion, so whatever.
Mm-hmm. Luca Almond, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard.
This guy, I'm like, you know, I wonder if he ever settles to where torps will actually be effective compared to my guns.
Mm-hmm.
No, so sending torps against him is just a colossal waste of time, especially with the DD and a sub.
Brindisi's in B. Well, that battleship up to the north of Rhode Island got himself wrecked. Yeah, McGarry's
I'm
down.
Don't blame him for what's coming
And-
after him, Montana.
It is now Solo Warrior time. 6-on-1. How you doing, Luca? Okay, well, at least the Yamagiri took him out. Yamato survived. Unfortunate. It's gonna heal up.
I don't know why the Gearing went back into B.
I don't either. I mean, go out, spot, find things. He's gonna find you. He's stopping.
I mean, I'm using my torps to see what he wants to
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm. And he wants to die. Cool. Oh, there's the Yamato. Double strike coming in.
Luckily, my turrets were kind of loaded that way, but if you notice, only one turret shot. I thought both of them did.
Yep. Double strike. Oh my god. And then there's the Brindisi.
I don't know what the Gearing was thinking. He
No.
knew I knew he was there.
Even the Montana's like, what are you doing?
I believe that Montana is still near full health.
Yes, he is. Probably about 60% actually. But with the heal,
Notice
Here's
that
the Kraken.
Yamato actually was in the C cap at some point, capping it and left it without getting the cap. So
well, he was farmed a lot. Yeah. Which is huge, by the way, because if you look at the points, you have 2 caps. So, are you thinking run, or are you thinking stay, or are you thinking turn in and charge?
Run. I'm not going to win against Chungmeo and the Montana.
Okay.
I'm
So-
out of heals. I'm near dead.
Okay.
Right, I'm just like, whatever. I'll eat one torp. Thank God, no flood.
Ironically, if you had loot yens, you'd get a passive heal from spotting both the Chungmu and the Montana. But no, I agree. I agree with running here.
I know score timers doesn't work on the replays,
Yeah.
and it was way less than 4 minutes. I think it was like
Here's the question,
minute
though.
30.
I
Just
agree
run.
with running. The question is, where do you run right now?
Exactly the way he's doing it. Away from the Montana Chungmu.
I would run to J4.
Mm,
Because the
no.
destroyer realistically could enter the A cap soon and get you spotted there.
Well,
So I wouldn't run towards A.
You're wrong.
He's not.
Look what their last now.
Mhm.
That's a while ago. That's a while ago on the last now.
That's not that long ago.
About a
They need
minute
to
or
kill
two.
me to win, which means he has to go through B.
He's got to hope
The
that Puddin turned around and charged.
The Montana needed to go to C. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, look, I'm spotted. Trust me, as soon as that hydro is ready, it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm thinking the Montana has to go to C just to stall for points.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chengdu has to come straight at me to spot me, which means he can't go to A.
Yep. And look, he went right through B. And he knows. Wow.
And the Montana didn't go to C.
No, he went into B. They both followed into B. And now the Chungmu opening up desperation right there, right? Just, he knows it's done. And Puddin just got a solo warrior.
And I
Jeez.
was not even cared about getting all the Nurembergs. I'm like, I just need to maintain angle against this Montana.
Afternoon Mellow, fair enough. And do you have 3 what rock damage? Congratulations indeed. One of the hardest achievements in the game, Solo Warrior.
And that is number 13.
You have to have at least 4 enemy ships alive when you are the only ship left alive. So we always joke about, oh look, Solo Warrior time. In this case, it actually happened.
Stupid.
Double Strike, Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed. Not a lot of damage, but what matters is the damage you've done.
I mean, like I said, I fired it up just to play a very mobile battleship to show Zelda, like, you don't bow tank in this thing. You've got to make the game returns and pray for the best.
Right.
And I've done several game returns, right? And then, you know, the idea of angling, like, yeah, I'm letting the Kerfer see more of my side than I need to, but I'm maintaining all my guns on him while angled to everyone else.
Right. Right. Ironically, the 4X guys with the mouths, they came in last. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game for you. And again, you kited away, and you were able to keep yourself alive. Rob says he's yet to get a solo warrior. Rob, you got to get your survivability percentage up to, you know, up above 20%, and then you have a better chance of getting a solo warrior.
Play a lot of carriers.
Like, this is the perfect example of the red team not knowing how to win the game. Like, that Yamato and gearing through so hard.
Well,
I don't necessarily blame the Brindisi. Like, but
I would say that gearing through the Yamato at that particular time while he was on C was being, like, he
Farmed.
shouldn't have shot, but he was getting farmed out.
I mean, of course he was farmed and getting shot at by the Yamato, but the moment by the Rhode Island. But the
Yes.
moment the Rhode Island died there, he could have just stopped, turned around, and get that C cap again.
he could have reversed.
Instead, he ran towards you while having, what was it, like 3,000 hit points?
I mean, at the same point, the Montana could have went into C instead of cutting in through B. Right?
I mean, obviously the Montana could have done it too, but the Montana, I don't know, we didn't see the hit points, but Montana probably had the hit points to actually still fight you, whereas the Yamato did not.
Right.
Right, but he could fight me while the DD spotting me and utilizing island cover, getting the cap, and I can't shoot back.
I think they were expecting you to keep going north, and instead Puddin turned south through the channel. So the Gearing was ready to ambush you with torps. You didn't show up. The Yamato was ready to ambush you with his front guns. You didn't show up. Montana, same deal. Chungmu, same deal. Right? You surprised the heck out of them by turning south into that channel. We'll look at the replay render about that in a sec. But I do want to highlight a couple things here. Right? For one, damaged modules, 2 anti-air guns, and that's it. You didn't take a lot of incoming damage, other than, well, you could see here some good AP, some sap shells, and that sort of thing. But your secondaries and your torpedoes both held, which is extremely rare in a Schlieffen game, considering you had so much potential damage.
The secondaries really didn't become involved in this.
No, they didn't. Look at, you only had 50 secondary hits and only one fire.
Because I was doing a little bit more of a standoffish, and I'm just being a bigger threat by still maintaining a presence in the area.
Right. So that brings up to another point I was going to make, Puddin, which is the playstyle you've got for it doesn't really match that of Schlieffen. Now, you said before you don't play the Schlieffen much. You much prefer to play Kerr first, and that what you did was a Kerr first game, right? This was a Kerr first game. It just happened to be in a Schlieffen instead, right? So, you know,
Honestly,
for you,
that's actually more like a French battleship game he played, to be honest.
Either way, for Puddin, though, he might be better suited speccing into some of the more survivability skills and not worry about secondaries in the Schlieffen. And just because he's a Schlieffen, people might think he's got secondaries, and that alone might encourage people to be farther away from him. Just some food for thought. Anyway, credits and XP, and then we'll take a look at the replay render. Let's pull that up now. And it's that wrong one. Sorry. I'd very much love to get from you guys an idea for what we could call this this game, what we could use for title. But yeah, I think when we paused it, that was the pivotal moment, right? Talking about you kiting away and the positioning that you were in.
Yeah, I mean, like, I recognize I'm the only battleship on the side. I'm a fairly squishy battleship compared to what they have in the form of the Kerr first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I saw.
Like I said, the whole thing with the Germans is they don't have great long-range accuracy, so I want to maintain a distance from the Kerr first.
Right.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like your long range accuracy isn't great either. Like, and I still think like you should, like, I don't disagree with kiting away here. Like the enemy have more ships.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like you're kiting here like at, what is that, like 14 kilometers? I would have at least give this a shot, let them catch up a little bit, get the secondaries involved and see what happens. You can always go dark and full speed up again if they're actually doing too much damage. But people don't want to chase a Schlieffen inside secondary range, so there's a high chance they're just gonna try to get away, and you just get a little bit of extra damage from the secondaries while they're shooting.
Right. Nobody wants to push into the Schlieffen, and nobody wants to sit still with the 405-1 in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're overestimating the 405-1.
Obviously, he's dealt with that particular sub quite a lot. So, if that's the case, then I can understand why, you know, he's saying that all the time.
Not taking my chances that the sub player is a bad player, right? Because you know I'm running matchmaking monitor, and the discrepancy for some of these guys is they know how to play those subs, and
I'd be more worried about if it was a Gado that can actually shotgun you. Like, the 405-1 is, I ping and I get my homing torpedoes.
Right.
That's quite frankly...
Oh, so he makes me waste my very limited DCPs.
You don't need the DCP to dodge the homing torpedoes, though. You're like...
These ones you do.
Luca, by the way, I saw your question. We'll get to that in a little bit. I want to finish talking through the replay here. Anyways, so let's continue the replay. There's your Fletcher that comes around from the bottom. Maybe he got radared, because he's not detected right now. He probably, yeah, see? Petro saw the torpedoes coming up from the rear and said, what could that be? Popped his radar and actually catches the Fletcher and Yamagiri and Balau on radar. That's a really good radar for that Petro.
He literally catches everybody.
Exactly. So that's what got the Fletcher killed. Moskva radars catches the gearing. That's probably how the gearing lost a lot of hit points. Yep, right there he gets chunked. Howden Leo keeps trying to drop on the Petro, gets frustrated, starts moving forward, which is absolutely not what he should have done, but oh well. And then he turns broadside here to dodge. Again, those are the 4501's torpedoes. So he dodges the torpedoes and then clonk, gets killed by the Petro. That's what got him killed. He pushed in when he shouldn't have.
Same thing with the Moskva. I don't know why he went down that way. And then angled broadside to them.
Yeah, Gamer turned and paid dearly for that. Honestly, if the Moskva would have just stopped and reversed at the island, he would have been much better off. Oh well. Yeah, Rock, we're doing replays first. I'm changing things around so we do replays first, and then we get to our live stuff, grind assist or ranked or whatever. All right, so you're moving back up now, and here's the part where I said, I think they expected you to keep going north, right here. So you're detected, you fired your torps, you got your hydro on. You're expecting the destroyer to go north, by the way, so I think it's kind of funny. Yes.
Like, the Rhode Island just died, and the Yamato had just left the cap. Like, he could have easily reversed back into this.
He could
was,
have.
like, basically 10 meters away from the cap.
He could have, but again,
Dark.
think about the Yamato's mindset. He knows there's a Schlieffen that's last spotted heading northward. He's not thinking about points, okay? He's thinking about getting a kill on a Schlieffen right here. That's what he's thinking. It's the wrong mindset. We all agree, but I'm trying to tell you that's what he's thinking right now. He's not thinking, oh, I can back up and get a free base cap. He might also, frankly, be concerned because if you look at the Kerfers to the south, there's the Yamagiri and Bilal both spotted there. And I realize that's a far away, but he might be thinking if he backs up, he could be torpedoed or, subbed or whatever.
I mean, the other thing is he knows where his Montana's at. His Montana could have turned, okay, Montana just got spotted. Montana needed to turn to go to sea. Right?
100%.
This is a double, we're just going to kill the Schlieffen. Right? They know I'm going south now because, Montana clearly shot.
It's a 6-1. We have 6 ships to their 1, right? This is easy. Like, all we have to do is kill him. But the thing is, right here, again, they expect you to keep going. You didn't, and you turned south. And then gifted.
Like, at this point, the only cap I know I could possibly defend would be A.
Yep. So there's the Yamato. Again, I'm going to go for the kill. It's 6-1. Now 5-1. I don't care. I'm going for the kill. You saw he had the shot ready, and Puddin was able to turn to deflect some of that, but still took some good hits. And now it's 5-1. Now it's 3-1.
I mean, like you say, that was the other day. Yami was waiting for me and got lucky that he aimed waterline and not for guaranteed damage, because I probably would have eaten a bunch of citadels.
To the point where you might have died when you took the Brindisi torp. Now it's 2-1, by the way.
Yeah.
Now it's over. It's quite frankly over even if the Montana went to sea.
But you were talking about last spotted of the destroyer. You also have to think about what's the Montana doing. And like Puddin said, probably going to sea. But look at where that shell came from. Delta 6. He's just going straight at you.
Yeah, I knew I had to use islands for some sort of cover from him. But if he goes to sea and the Chengmu actually knows how to shoot, they might have burnt me down just given those potential few seconds.
Right. Exactly.
All right. I agree with you 100%, Grunty. The Yami should have just stopped and reversed. Right? There's no argument there. The gearing should have came out of Bravo because the Brindisi was in there. Right? You know I'm on the northern side of this map, so just keep me spotted so I never sneak up onto Brindisi instead. The Kering stayed in and let me sneak up on, well, all of them.
I mean, it's a great example of showing how there's bad decision making on both teams, and what came down to the win was, you know, mostly good decision making by Puddin and a few other key players.
I mean, I'm not delusional enough to think that this was all me getting the solo warrior, right? The team got B and C. We held 2 caps way longer than them.
Yep.
And then I got lucky that they all made really bad decisions to where I racked up a lot of points on killing ships to where our cap advantage was able to hold out. And I was smart enough to help them get A so everybody can move on faster because there's multiple ships capping it, which means we're getting that cap faster. Right?
Yep.
Blau and Yamagiri don't just have to sit there. In hindsight, probably would have been better off making them 2 cap it because that would have delayed them coming out and getting killed by the Kerr first.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't really think they would both die to him. Like, I just...
Yeah.
Trust me, I
Oh,
did
well.
a sigh. I'm like, oh, great. Like, I didn't
All right.
realize Solo Warrior until I got the Kraken. I had no clue I was even sitting on a Kraken. So, I mean, that was way past those 2 dying, and I'm just thinking, Jesus, these idiots are making this hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, you can't control your teammates. All you can do is hope and pray and try to work with them. So they did enough to get you that solo warrior. You have to think about it that way, right? Like,
I mean, I'm not surprised they both died. Like, this is usually what happens if you try to sneak up on a hydro secondary battleship.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
you
That's
get
but
hydro,
that's
you
what I
get
mean, though.
secondaries.
If they didn't both die, there's no solo warrior, right? So them both
No.
dying means solo warrior.
Well, I
And
mean,
that's
the
why-
other thing is they're pushing into him, right? When is a Kerr first going to push? Oh, I know. When his hydro's down, because that's what I would logically do. Like, how do you not think he's pushing with his hydro? Oh, look, he's turning out. Oh, his hydro's going down. I just got to wait a couple seconds.
Obviously, they didn't expect that to happen. Oh well, it is what it is. Take the W,
like-
take the solo W for what it is,
Oh.
right?
But I mean, like, for people, this is why we say play different ships, because you will understand. Like, if the Yamagiris never played a Kerr first, he doesn't know that's what you do.
That's
I have
right.
Hydro. I need to kill these guys. I can push into them now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, oh, my Hydro's going down. I kind of need to turn a kite out and get some distance.
I think the Kufis also realized they needed that ACAB back, and
He did a great job, right? Like, he did the thing. He played very well the whole game.
He did the right thing. You can't push into torpedoes without that Hydro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, ironically, he still died to torpedoes on the Hydro, but I think that was just due to a volume issue.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, this Yamagiri with 18 torpedoes and the Balau with
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
6.
torpedoes, right?
Mhm.
And,
All right.
and even if the torpedoes didn't kill him, he's still broadside enough for me to just finish him.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and bury this replay. It was a fantastic one. It was a lot of fun talking through it. I don't know what to call it other than solo W. If you guys have an idea, I'd love to hear it. But what we're going to do, thank you again, Puddin, we're going to move into the focus